influences would drive a person to possibly take on something like this. So I'm just going to read a couple sections through of the book, and in between I'll talk a little bit, and then we'll do some questions and answers if you guys have any questions about anything regarding the book or the run. So this is the prologue. Attending a small 3-room rural grade school in northeastern Wisconsin as a child gave me a unique perspective of life. With a population of 605, the small town had a knack for breeding dominating basketball teams in our conference. However, the hardwood floors and brick walls of the classic small town gym never lit up my imagination. So during my 5th and 6th grade years after school, my mother would drive me 10 miles to the next town to run with the freshly established Gillette High School cross-country team, which my older brother, Ben, had just joined. Bill Greiton, a Wisconsin Hall of Fame coach, had moved to the Northwoods to retire. However, he could not resist starting a Division III program in our community, a community that knew little of distance running. During the 70s and 80s, his teams dominated the Wisconsin distance scene. They grew long hair and piled up state titles like clockwork. He demanded excellence out of his rough bunch of athletes from the inner city and always pulled more out of an individual than they were usually willing to give. He was a legend in the scene of Wisconsin cross-country. When our paths first crossed on the old railroad bed that passed by the school and continued 32 miles north, passing my house along the way, my young mind was ready to be shaped. I was years younger than the high school runners and was usually the only one who would not be able to outrun the elderly coach on the endless trail. So there we were, an odd running couple from the looks of it. He having way too many miles on his legs, and I far too few. Stride for stride every day after school, this larger-than-life man would fill my head with years of running stories. He brought out the desire in me to run and instilled in me the knowledge of what it took to go faster and farther than anyone else. He told me once, a person only has so much God-given talent. It's up to you to find out how much that is. It sent me into life with the mission of searching for my own limits. The following account is the closest I've come to finding the elusive limits of my heart, body, and most of all, my own soul. So, I don't know if you picked up at all in the beginning, but I'm actually talking about soaring. I went to St. John's up the hill from Surrey, and in 6th grade or 7th grade moved to Gillette. It was kind of interesting transition there, and it's always interesting to look back on what influences you after a certain situation, and you never really, I don't think you can fully comprehend the influences that people have on your life until you're looking back. And there's definitely a lot more than just Coach Greiton, but it's definitely his those long miles on the trail when I was so young, and him just kind of starting to put that desire in me of what distance running was all about. Is very interesting to look back on, and definitely in high school it was more the competitive side, and then college it kind of started to transition and into that I wanted to use running more as a way of adventure, and a way that you can get places that people can't get by on cars, and on trails and mountains and things, and then also how you can tie that in with something you're passionate about. And I've always you strive as an individual to be able to set an example and be a role model of what you believe in, and that was important for me to figure out how to bring that out in something I'm passionate about. So I got involved with an organization called Living Water International, and they still work with underdeveloped countries, helping them acquire fresh water. And it's a huge need that kind of, if you have fresh water, you don't think twice about it, and if you don't have it, it's all you think about, because it's the basic, it's the basic survival of life. You need it for everything, and that's something that I think is so hard to comprehend, but in a way, as a distance runner, anyone who exercises, when you're out there and all of a sudden you're dry in water, and you kind of, when you get back home, you fill up a big glass of clear fresh water and slam it down. And, I personally think that's the best taste in the world, and to just think to live without that and constantly be in thirst, is huge. So Living Water is kind of a personal charity that I've really got involved with and grown with over the last couple of years, and it's really exciting to see the number. It used to be over 1 billion people in the world without access to clean water. Now it's around 8840 million. So still a huge number, but it's amazing to see it continue to drop.